if we had allowed these uncompleted projects, the hospitals, to be completed, as of now, we'll be employing more nurses than we are
Because
today.
a lot of nurses are traveling abroad.
Yes. You see? So that is the problem. The problem is that MPP...
Are you also going to be trying to ship the nurses abroad as a revenue? Because there was a time I read in the news, government wants to ship nurses abroad as means of generating revenue.
That is...
Hello. You're watching NSG News, and this is the hot seat. And in the interest of Ghana must work, Ghana can work, we want Ghana to work. The hot seat has traveled all the way to the eastern region, to be precise, Kofrodidia, where we are seated in the regional office of NDC. Yeah. And with me today is Honorable Siaw David, yeah, who is the regional NDC regional Interparty and civil society organization chairman.
Yes.
You're welcome to the hot seat.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your courage to sit on the hot seat. It gets hot on that seat.
No problem at all.
I promise not to apologize because I'm here in the interest of country and people, patriotism.
Sure.
So my questions are going to be in that direction. But to start with, it's not fair to just start, let me use the word, attacking you all over the place without knowing who you are, and our audience would love to know you. Yeah. Who is Honorable Siaw?
Yes. My full name is Kwadwo Siaw David Frimpong. I hail from Achimtafo,
okay, in
the eastern region. I'm a family man, a very big family man, of course. I have 15 children of my own.
How many?
15.
Buddy, I'm laughing. 15 children.
Yes.
Actually, you are still beating because my father-in-law has 34 children, so you still dwarfed him. So you're okay. You planning to give more?
Not really. God gives. So when it comes, I'll take. Once it's not in, I don't count it.
Right. Thank you for that. 15 children. Yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you.
It's not an easy thing to raise children. But anyway, carry on. Tell us more about yourself.
And I have 2 wives.
2 wives?
2 beautiful wives, yes.
Does the law allow us to marry 2?
I am not really under the law of marriage. If you go to court,
yes,
then the law of continence, that catches you.
Okay.
But if you're on your own, probably a Muslim, you're entitled to marry 4. So
all right.
That's not a problem.
And so you are on your own?
Yes.
A businessman?
Yes.
A wealthy man, I would think?
Sure.
And able to look after 2 women?
Yes.
And 15 children?
Yes.
Wow.
And I have other people's children also stay with me.
Oh, so...
About 8 of them.
Yeah.
Most of them are in school, tertiary, secondary, and whatever. Wow. So that is the job God has given me to do, to raise children, of course, good children, of course.
And it looks like you're doing it very well.
Sure.
Right. So apart from your own line of descendants, what about brothers, fathers, siblings?
Yes, I was born to with 5 children from my parents, and I'm the last born.
Oh, you're the last born?
Yes, I have 3 sisters, and of course one is deceased. We buried her just recently, about 2 weeks ago.
Oh,
and
my condolences.
Yes, we are 2 boys. Of course, I'm the last born. So we are managing the family all right. Everything is fine. So my hometown in Tafo, if you get there, you mention my full name, Siaw David, nobody knows. People call me either Chairman Siaw or Kwadwo Siaw for my family. So you can call me Kwadwo or call me Siaw when you want to refer to me to ask me a question.
Yeah.
I'll be very comfortable with that.
Just as Kwadwo?
Kwadwo, yes,
or Siaw?
I'm okay with it, yeah.
That's fine. Whatever works for you, I'm okay with that.
Sure.
Anyway, thank you for that. Anything more you want to say to us about your family? Your
probably,
dad, your mom, something?
My dad is deceased. He was a policeman.
Okay.
He's deceased. My mother is also deceased about 11 years ago.
Oh.
And so,
Again, since it's the first time I'm hearing it, my condolences.
yeah, thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Briefly, I do know through my research trying to find out a bit more about yourself. You spent a short time being the MC at some point during the NDC era.
Yes.
How were you able to marry that responsibility with your private business and family? You've just told us you've got 15 children, 2 wives.
Actually, I was a protocol officer
Okay.
during President Mills' time.
Right.
And they carved new districts. From Asamankese, they carved Adeso district. So I took care of Adeso for some time before the MC himself came.
Okay.
So that is where it was a short-lived time. So normally I don't talk about that to people.
Yeah.
But I was there for some time.
Okay.
At the time, I was still a protocol officer. And in 2012, I was here as the director of elections at the region in charge of logistics.
So should we blame you that they lost the elections?
No, we
Director of
we
elections.
didn't lose in 2012.
Okay, you won. Okay.
We won in 2012.
Oh, okay. So you did a good job.
Yes, sure.
So
sure,
were you
sure.
not there 2016?
No.
You were not there.
New people.
What
came
happened?
up. In 2016 or in 2012?
I mean, when you lost the elections, because when you were director of elections, you won.
Yes.
And then when you were not there, they lost. Why?
You know, in Ghana,
Yeah.
when it is 8 years, it becomes a little bit difficult of a task.
Yeah.
And you need to work extra hard before you can cross that 8 years. I can hear MPP people saying breaking the 8, breaking
Yes.
I just laugh in my mind because
You think they're
it
not going to
doesn't
break the
happen.
8?
No, they can't.
You think they're not going to break
they
the
will
8?
never.
Are you sure?
It can never happen.
Do you know something we don't know?
Oh, you see, the dynamics of the time
Yeah.
determines if you are winning or you are losing.
Okay.
For instance, we are in 2024.
Yeah.
In 2016, when we handed over to MPP,
Yeah.
our exchange rate was 3.9, probably 4 cedi to $1.
Yeah.
And now we are even crossed 16 cedis.
But it's not their fault, I
So
would say.
the standard
Do
of
you
living
think their fault?
is their fault.
Why that? Because it's attributed to the lockdowns, the COVID, and the economy coming to a halt and restarting. So why do we want to pin it on them exclusively as a sole act that caused it?
You see, when you promise your children,
Yeah.
go to school.
Yes.
When you come back, I'll toast bread for you.
Mm-hmm.
And when they come back and they see ampesie, you know ampesie?
Yeah.
Yes.
Plantain and green.
Green.
I'll have to eat
On
some
their-
before I leave, you know.
Don't worry about that.
Okay.
On their table,
Yes.
would they be happy?
And I'll have to convince them that's the best.
So they are trying to convince us
Okay.
that something happened,
All right.
that they could not control that which happened. And that is why we are here. You see, the vice president, who is
Could that be true?
It is true. They couldn't manage the system.
So you're saying it's true, COVID came, lockdown came, but they could not manage the situation.
COVID came. We have lockdown for 2 weeks.
Only 2 weeks.
Yes. In Accra and Kumasi. Only in Accra.
I
Kaswa.
thought the whole of Ghana.
No, it was in Accra, Kumasi, and Kaswa.
You sure?
Yes, you can find out.
Okay.
For only 2 weeks. And if this can drag our economy to this level, then Ghana, we were seriously in a dire state. Because if the economy has, we say, shock absorbers, if you have a car and your shock absorbers are down, when you fall into a pothole, you feel it.
Especially on these roads.
Yes.
When I was coming here, I fell in a very heavy one. And that's why my screen is broken.
That's
My
right.
television is broken.
You see.
Your road broke my television.
See, I apologize for that, but
No,
the government should have fixed it.
I'm not very happy right now. My TV is
Don't worry
broken.
about that, will be sorted out.
It's okay. Right.
When you have good shock absorbers,
Yeah.
you will see that you wouldn't feel it as much.
No.
So just 2 weeks, and the economy can go down to this level. My brother, and these
Do you
are,
think that NDC hand over good economy to them?
yes,
Mahama handed over good economy?
after 2016,
Yeah.
our economy grew. It was predicted by IMF that the economy will grow to that level. They were still under IMF program until 2018, probably 2019.
Yeah.
They took over full control of the economy in 2019 and 2020. And now this is where we are. So can we say that they manage the economy well?
It's arguable.
We will talk about that later.
We will get to that point, yeah, of course. But I mean, as you've mentioned, we cannot but deliberate on it a bit. So if we go back to MC, then you said you spent only 12 months, and marrying that with your private business and family.
At that time, as I said, I was a protocol officer.
Yes.
So probably I was kind of a civil servant.
Right.
So the business was not much, it was not that much. But I was doing business before I entered as a protocol officer.
Yeah.
So when we lost in 2016, I decided to go deep into my business and pursue it.
Do you think it was a fair loss? Of course, I knew you contended in court. Yes.
There were issues. Because if you have an electoral commission who can probably commission 6 results at the same time, how can you believe that this is the right result, or this was the right result, or this was the other one? So that is where we were at a loss.
But you did well. You did well to go to court rather than take to the streets. That was a very civil way of doing things.
NDC, we are very law abiding.
Are you?
Very, very low.
It's arguable.
But we don't
I'm sure our listeners will be filming and be writing things under this video now.
We don't allow people
yes.
to cheat us.
You don't allow macho men to go to court and remove people from court?
No. We don't do that.
You don't do that?
We lost. We won in 2009, 2008,
yeah.
2009. Mm-hmm. We took over. Did you hear that we went to be taking people's public toilets, people's Land Cruisers, probably going to court to take people from courtroom? It never happened at the NDC.
The people who say what they...
So,
I mean, you are the politician, you are the leader, and this is why we've come. You tell us.
So whatever MPP
yes.
does,
yes.
and whatever NDC does,
yeah.
there is a split difference, a gap that MPP cannot compare itself to NDC. We lost, we took it in good faith, and this is where we are.
Okay.
And we are telling the people of Ghana that these people came to lie to us.
But the current flag bearer of MPP says that he used to be a mate. He now wants the steering wheel.
Oh, if you
are... fast do
you... See, I didn't Oh, no, he will never get it.
Say, oh, your mate now or
do you know how public transport operates in Ghana?
You told me.
Do you know that mates are in control of every public transport?
Yeah, I know. They collect the money.
Yes.
And the driver is looking forward.
So the driver is just looking forward and
yes.
driving. So you, the mate, should have tell the driver, we are going wrong this way.
Until you enter the bush.
Stop here.
Yeah.
People are here. I want us to pick them.
Yeah.
And mate, you couldn't control the driver. And you left the driver to let us into this
It could
ditch.
be the driver is a dangerous driver. He doesn't listen. It could be.
That may be
what
the
do you
issue.
think?
If that is not the case, then the mate is a very wrong mate.
Yeah?
And he cannot drive.
So we shouldn't give the steering to the driver?
Yes, I have an experience.
Yeah.
I have some tipper trucks.
Yeah.
One day the driver was sick. He handed the car to a mate. The mate.
Yeah.
And the mate, the same day the mate took the car was condemned.
Oh,
yes.
He had an accident with it?
Accident into a ditch.
So you think this analogy is a sign?
Yeah, it doesn't help at all.
It's a sign.
You can't hand your car to your mate if the mate is not proven.
You sure?
Yes.
Some mates are good, you know.
So if the mate tells you, today, tomorrow we are going to arrest the dollar and send it to the IGP for the IGP to lock it up. So the dollar, if something is locked up, it doesn't go up, it doesn't come down.
No.
So we were very comfortable. At that time, it was even 4.3, 4.4. We were very comfortable keeping it at that. Then I don't know what happened. They removed that IGP.
We will come to that mate driver scenario. We will come to 24/7. But let's stay with you with the, in summary, what else do you want to say with your short-lived time of being a civil servant and how you married to your own private business and also change of government? Has that impacted your private business?
Oh, yes, sure. You know, every businessman is suffering today. most credible businessmen in the system,
Yeah.
either they lose money or they lose their capital or their profits cannot be talked about.
Yeah.
Today's Ghana. So whatever we were doing in 2016 or before 2016, as at now, if you had, say, 1 million Ghana cedis in your account, and you compare it to that exchange rate at the time, and today the same 1 million, if you calculate, you see you've lost a lot of value on your money. So every businessman is suffering. But you know, we dynamic people, wherever we find ourselves, we do something else. I'm grateful to Honorable Fusan Pofo, because he gave me that role in Adesso. We made Adesso so that they have gotten a district, and structures were put in place. Everything was moving well. So when the new MCE came, he also continued with it. And of course, Adesso has now gotten its own blog, as assembly blog and everything. Everything is fine with that. I went there, I think, last 2 weeks or so, and I was happy. They are moving on.
Yeah.
If you go to Adesso today, you see my picture on the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
as your 12 to about approximately a year time of being a civil servant, either the MC or you mentioned something else.
protocol officer.
Protocol officer. Anything that stood out in your achievement in that time? Something that you remember to say, "Oh, I'm glad I did."
You know, every community
Yeah.
or every district has some kind of resources they depend
Yeah.
on. When I went there, I saw that there were a lot of sand for building and for construction.
Yeah.
So myself and the coordinator at the time, we initiated people to come from Accra to win sand. The chief was involved, everybody was involved, and we started getting revenue for the assembly.
For the assembly?
Yes. So most of the development that went on there, especially the market, the station and whatever, it was from IGF. IGF internally generated funds, and that is what they used to do those constructions. Okay. Although the construction didn't meet me in office, I went there later, I saw that things were going
went
well.
on.
Yes.
Went on. And you're happy about that?
I'm very, very happy about that.
So do you wish you could have stayed longer?
Not really, because that was not my town.
Okay.
Normally, you see, in Ghana, you become an official, like an MC or DC, when you come from the community. So if you don't come from the community, you have to give way for a community member to be part of.
Is that entirely necessary? It should be more about who can do the job.
I think.
Don't you think?
I think in 2012, after 2012.
Before you go there, is that what the Constitution says, that whoever becomes an MC and a DCE should be an indigent?
Yes, that is what has been happening throughout.
No, what has become custom and practices, but what is the Constitution saying? I'm holding you to that. I want you to speak as a country person at that point. Should it be the person who can do the job, be it an indigent or somebody from somewhere else? In this case, you have initiated something.
I don't think it's part of the Constitution.
And shouldn't be.
Because
I'm not saying that's not what happened. I'm only trying to get your view on that. Don't you think it should be more of who can do the job, much more than where the person comes from?
Really?
What do you think?
It's about who can do the job better.
That's enough for me.
Because I have an experience.
And I'm sure that's enough for Ghanaians who are watching us to say that's what it should always be, that he can do the job. He's a frafra, he's an Ewe, he's an Ashanti, he's an Agan, whatever. He can deliver. Let him do the job.
President Mahama has done it before.
He has.
Yes, but it didn't come down to the municipal or district assembly level. It was a regional level.
Okay.
I think Eastern region, minister came from Volta region to be minister in Eastern region.
Yeah.
And our minister also went to Greater Accra to be the Greater Accra regional minister. And so it has been done before.
Did they deliver?
It worked well. And in the 90s, or early 90s, I would say, I would probably say in the 80s, because that's a long time, Rawlings' time. The people who came to develop Koforidua, Those times we call them secretary, regional secretary, or district secretary. There was a man who came here, he was called Minila. Minila, yes. He came to develop Kofurudua Zongo. Okay. It was so scattered, he came to demarcate the place. So up to today, people mention his name. Even that Zongo was named after him, Minila Zongo. Of late that they call it Kofurudua Zongo. So it has been done before, and I think our government, when we come to power after 2024.
When or if?
When we come to power.
You said?
No, I'm certain we are coming. When
there
we come to power,
becoming a driver.
No, the mate can never be the driver.
We'll see. We are all here.
When we come to power, I think our government should also consider, because what I foresee with putting indigenes at the district level is a lot of pressure. The party, the community put pressure on them because they know them. But you see, when a stranger or somebody else from another place comes, there are certain things he can do without people influencing him. So I think President Mahama should take into consideration, and if possible, they can do those changes. I think that would be very helpful.
You don't think there is going to be a driver that will not be paying attention to his mate?
No, not at all. For the driver mate issue, it won't happen. I'm telling you.
Now, your time as a civil servant was short-lived. You're still in your business as opposed to, but now you are the regional Interparty and CSO civil society organization chairperson for the regional chairperson, Eastern Region for NDC. What is this Interparty position about?
Yeah, Interparty and civil society relations is a body in the NDC structure.
Only in the NDC structure?
Yes.
Doesn't exist in other parties?
I don't really know, but it's in the NDC structure.
Okay. So what is it for? What is it to achieve?
What we do is that we have a constitution.
Yeah.
As soon as the constitution is adored, people will have to understand what the constitution are saying about whatever they do, especially the trade, especially it's the churches. What is the constitution saying about churches? Women group, what is the constitution saying about the women? How will they benefit from it? So our job really is to go down to the people, identify groups, and tell them what is happening with their trade.
Yeah.
And this is what the NDC is proposing for their trade and what they think about it. So they give us feedbacks from whatever we tell them. Then we can use it to better implement our policies and our programs in the Constitution. That is basically how we do our jobs.
I mean, now that we are touching on party, we've just talked about what you do. You liaise with the civil society organized group, the churches, identifiable groups, to give them the opportunity to understand their rights within the Constitution, if I get it right. Yes. That's what you're saying.
NDC manifesto, rather, is manifesto.
Yeah?
Manifesto.
Or the manifesto, to understand what NDC is going to be doing for them.
Yes, sure.
Okay. Is that not just to get them to vote for you?
Sure. We are seeking vote to come and rule and implement the programs in the manifesto.
I was speaking to a doctor, Dr. Joyce Manu, who wrote a thesis on political branding, brand delivery, i.e. you promise us and how you should deliver it. And the discussion seems to suggest that you overbrand and under-deliver. Why that?
You know, one thing about NDC, we are people-centered.
Okay.
If you look at the structure of our party, wherever you find yourself, you can be picked and help the party. So, because we are people-centered, we lean more to the villages, the communities, the hamlets, wherever we find people.
Yeah.
So you remember in our 2020 manifesto, we said it is people's manifesto.
Yes.
What we did was that we went to the people, as we are going to the people, Interparty, we are going to the people. We went to them first. They told us what they want us to do for them when we win power.
Yeah.
And now, when we win power, we will do it for them as...
I know you don't want me to say if, but because I'm watching the driver, you know.
No, forget about the driver. Forget about the driver, because, you know,
yeah,
if you don't understand people,
yeah,
and you sit in Accra and impose policies on them,
yeah,
at the end of the day, you will implement the policy, but the net effect will not be that good.
But it looks like that's what we have experiences, the referendum 1992, let's put it, since the Fourth Republic. We see yourself, the politicians come to the community and promise us heaven and earth, and then we don't even get, most things get broken in the communities.
You know,
and which is why I'm calling to the academics, the scholars are saying there's something called brand delivery. You're saying that there's a milk in this container, nicely done, don't put water in there. Because if I buy it, I'm not going to like it. The truth is, Ghanaians should learn to begin to vote according to whether the brand has been delivered or not. But so far, we are still voting because we are Evers, we are Shantis, we are this, we are that. My daddy is an NDC man, my daddy is an NPP man. That we are trying to get the people to sit up.
You know, we are fortunate as Ghanaians to have somebody who's been president before and want to become president again. You see, they say experience is the best teacher. So he has gotten some experience. And out of his experience, we have to vary the way we do things previously. MPP, having learned from what happened from 2016 to 2020, and they have even worsened it from 2020
but
to 2024.
they've been adoring some projects that they have delivered.
Definitely. You have been given money. You go borrow.
Yeah.
Definitely you have to deliver something.
Okay.
There is no government in this world, and especially Ghana, that we will say that he came and never did anything.
But the people are not feeling the delivery.
That is
the people cannot engage with the delivery, and that's a problem. And that is what we don't understand why.
That is where the problem is.
And so why is it that way? Because since the Fourth Republic, all of you, I'm sorry, but all of you under-deliver. Why? Is it money, policy, or just you don't care?
Not really under-deliver.
Okay. What? Convince me and my audience.
When you bring your manifesto to the people, and you tell them, I will do A, B, C, D, there may be constraints.
Yeah.
But at least you should do certain things that will make the standard of living easy.
I agree.
So when they don't even have enough jobs to do, for instance, if you have 10 people or 5 people in a family, and out of that, most of them have completed secondary school and tertiary, and out of them, 3 of them are working, either on their own or in the public sector or whatever.
Yeah.
They will take care of the rest, waiting for them to be employed as well. But if the one who is doing business, his business is crashed, if he's working at the banking sector, the banking is collapsed, the bank is collapsed, he's home. He joins the other 2. The one who is doing his own business is not going well for him, from hand to mouth.
Yeah.
He joins the other 3.
Yes.
So
and you have 15.
Sure. So you see, if you don't...
So is that why we should trust you will make the economy work, because you want your 15 children to work?
To work well.
Are you sure?
Yes, to live very well. Ghanaians deserve better.
Of course we do.
Yes.
We don't have, you see, the theory of Ghanaians is that we are blessed human resource, economic, natural resources, intellectual resources. We are self-sufficient. So why should it be so? Even me falling into that big pothole and my screen is broken, it shouldn't be.
Sure, that is the case.
So we're still there. We're going to go to one of the big issues we have at the moment, Galamsey, but let's stay with your party for a moment, because what do you think the current government is doing that you're going to do differently? That people should be convinced you do it, therefore they should vote for you.
Let me give you just one scenario.
Go on then.
Before 2016, we have something we call nursing training.
Yes.
And teacher training.
Yes.
And on the education part, NDC's plan was that we were paying allowances, but we are moving the students to tertiary level instead of the certificate level they were earlier. So if we move them to that level, they should take allowance, they should take loans instead of allowances.
Yeah.
Then, after the upgrade, we build more schools, secondary schools, so that as soon as they complete their training education, they can find work to do at once. The same applies to the nursing. The nursing trainees, we were taking more trainees, training more nurses, and we're building more hospitals. So that as soon as they complete school, they will have.
And these are verifiable.
Yes, you can.
This
find
is
out.
not a political talk.
You can find out anywhere. They can
We're
find.
not going to get Ghanaians community to say, tell him to keep quiet. He's lying to us.
It is a true fact I'm talking about.
Okay. I mean, if it's that way, yes.
We took out the student allowances.
Yeah.
And we replaced it with the loans.
Okay.
And we upgraded them to tertiary level, diploma and degree.
Right.
So that they could be upgraded. Okay. This government, MPP, promised to restore the allowances. The effect of restoring the allowances was that, one, there will be a quota system, because government could not pay much of the students. As I speak to you, most of them have completed that school, nursing training, without receiving any allowance. On top of that, they have to go through a lot of scrutiny because of the quota system. And when they complete school, they stay home 2 years before they are posted to hospitals. Because most of the hospitals we started, they didn't open them early, or they didn't complete them. Yeah. I'll give you one typical example.
Go on.
The hospital at the University of Ghana.
Yes.
Even people did demonstrations before that hospital was opened. It was COVID time that they opened that hospital. But it's one of the top hospitals in Ghana now. So actually, what I'm saying...
I just want to... I don't know whether it's some of your projects that got left undone, but there was a report from one investigative journalist a while ago where they went around to outdoor to showcase some of the regional hospitals that were being built, just something left to complete, and they were left abandoned. Yes. So
there's a hospital
and I actually did a program on that, spoke on it.
A hospital in a whole district, big district hospital, has been left up to today. So what I was arriving at is that if we had left these students to go through their training without the allowances, we could have taken more students to complete. If we had allowed these uncompleted projects, the hospitals, to be completed, as of now, we'll be employing more nurses than we are.
Because a lot of nurses are traveling abroad.
Yes. You see? So that is the problem. The problem is that MPP...
Are you also going to be trying to ship the nurses abroad as revenue? Because there was a time I read in the news, government wants to ship nurses abroad as means of generating revenue.
That is brain drain. If you are
I do know that. I'm only asking you, are you guys going to be doing the same?
If government, you are losing control.
I'm asking you direct questions because you look certain that you're going to win.
Yeah, sure.
So tell us, convince us why we should vote for you in your confidence.
Government is losing control on all sectors.
Yeah, let's leave this government losing control. You want to come take over. What are you going to do? Are we going to be shipping nurses abroad as revenue? What's your game plan? That's what I'm trying to understand from you.
We have abandoned hospitals we need to build.
You finish them?
We will finish them in time.
You complete them?
All of them. And we will employ our nurses.
We'll come back here and ask you.
Don't you know that Cubans come to Ghana to help?
Oh, yes, I do.
So why do we ship our nurses out? Whilst we need them here. You see, my president, come 2025, President Mahama,
yes,
he says that all those abandoned projects will be finished in time, within 1 year.
How is he going to, where's the fund, is getting the funding from? So what's his plan? Because we've gone to IMF, because there's no money. Are we going to borrow more to finish those projects?
Yeah. President Mahama
Or
says,
we actually going to use our natural resources to finish the project?
President Mahama says that in our, manifesto, there is a big push. And the big push is we are going to devote money.
I heard that, but how are you going to get it done? Is it still going to be borrowing of money?
Oh, borrowing is not bad. But
I'm not saying it's bad. You see, one of the
unnecessarily-
challenges of borrowing as far as our country is concerned is that for me, as a Ghanaian, who is very not happy with how things are, is that borrowing as a businessman, so you know that if you borrow and put it and not using it for business, for it to generate revenue to finance itself, then it becomes a liability. If we borrow money to be paying salaries, that's a liability.
Yes, I'm sure.
So this is what
But
I'm
you
saying.
know, NDC have a track record of smart borrowing. Let me give you just
I'm
one.
not condemning you all, but I've told you since the Fourth Republic, all of you have under-delivered.
Yes, but we have done it before, and we can do it again. Let me give you one example.
Go on.
Terminal
But
3.
I know the audience they are eating to
Terminal
hear this.
3 of Kotoka International Airport.
Yeah, I passed through there.
Yes.
Many times.
Yes. You know, Terminal 3 was borrowed. Money was borrowed to build that Terminal 3. After the money was borrowed,
Yes.
the same project is paying for itself. I know by now it has paid for itself. So for smart borrowing,
Yeah.
NDC, we can do it.
Okay.
You borrow even on your balances.
I agree that borrowing is not the problem. What you're going to use the money for is the problem, because any financial instrument that cannot service itself becomes a liability.
So if you borrow to complete hospitals, schools, and stuff, will not be a financial liability.
Possibly not, but we have this national insurance scheme where people go to hospital for free. Is the national insurance having enough money to be paying for everybody going there?
Oh, as of now, as I speak to you,
Yeah.
National Health Insurance Scheme takes care of OPD services.
Okay.
You go, drugs and other things will be written for you to buy.
Okay.
Definitely, if you are sick and you go to hospital, you have to put some money in your pocket.
Okay.
You don't
NDC, you say you come into power. You don't want me to use the if. You say when.
When?
Okay, no problem. Because you don't trust a mate can be a driver.
No, sure.
No, it's okay too.
Yeah.
I've acknowledged that. What do you think is going 24/7? You have to convince me. But what's going to be your flagship program is that we will remember you for, that will turn and spin the trajectory of our economy on its head?
Oh, I will talk just a little about the 24/7, which takes care of everything.
Is that the?
Yes, that is the magic.
I remember when I was interviewing Honorable Adongo, he said is the Messiah. 24/7 is the Messiah.
Yes.
So you're talking about the same Messiah? Yes. Convince me with this Messiah.
You know, the 24/7.
Yes.
There are factories, there are industries,
Yeah.
there are so many works here, services here, that when we run that 24-hour economy, definitely we will employ more people.
Yeah.
For instance, now there are so many services rendered to Ghanaians under 8 hours. The reason why I'm saying under 8 hours is that when they come to work, they break. And after break, they come back.
Yeah.
It's under 8 hours.
Yes.
The same job can provide for 3 people to run.
But I'm not questioning, that's a fact. Running around the clock means that you have people working at the time, most of the time. But where are the industries? Some jobs can only be from morning to evening, administrative jobs.
Yes,
so if you are going to be relying on 24/7, that means we have to be going industrial, we have to become an industrial hub.
Yes, sure.
Production,
Sure.
manufacturing, processing have to become the ultimate direction of country, and people at the moment it's not. So how are you going to achieve this 24/7? Because most of us at the moment is 8 to 5 or 8 to 4.
Yes.
Because that's the nature of the job. It cannot run 24.
There are so many of them that can run 24.
So you have plans to get those
Yes,
institutes?
because you know there are some industries in Ghana. We can't say there are no industries in Ghana.
But they're limited.
But you
Because
know when
import is still one of the major issues, because even when Russia and Ukraine started their war, just in the first week, Ghana was shouting from the mountaintop that oh yes, it's impacting us, which was actually is sorrowful.
Yes.
Beyond measure.
That is
that as colorful as our country is, green on every side, arable land every corner. Just drop a grain behind us here, it will grow. And then here we are, waiting for a country that is snow-stricken to feed us.
You see, it's about management.
You think NDC is a better manager?
Yes, the people managing our economy don't even know what to do. That is why COVID came, we went aground. Ukraine and the Russia war, we went aground.
Yeah.
You know, when we were in power before 2016, we have similar pandemic. It was an epidemic, Ebola virus.
Ebola, yes.
You know, it affected so many other countries.
Yes.
You know, the Ebola center was built in Ghana.
Yes.
We were prepared for it. Did you hear any shutdown? Did you hear issues about somebody contracted Ebola, go be quarantined and those things? We were very prepared. This government was not prepared. But you know, let me tell you something about coronavirus. That was a blessing to Ghana than what they seem to portray to us. You know, when NDC left power, in our consolidated fund, we had money. You know, we did a sinking fund. We did created so many funds. That money was there. And you know, when COVID came, they went to take all those monies and spent. Apart from that, we received donations, grants, and we took loans because of COVID.
Yeah.
Have you ever pondered over it and asked yourself, did Ghana needed that much money at the time? And if we got that money at the time, why did we go ground to the level that just 2 weeks of lockdown, our economy was in a mess? I am just telling you that these guys who are managing now was telling us something they couldn't do. They were just dressing the window for every Ghanaian to just vote for them. Today, in our local parlance, we say, we have seen the length of the frog or the toad.
Yes, toad.
Because it is dead now. So whatever these guys are doing, they are, you know, if you have followed the running mate of MPP or the presidential...
The upcoming driver.
or the presidential candidate himself.
Or the upcoming mate.
Yes.
Okay.
The upcoming mate. Have you followed him?
Nah.
He has never...
Oh, yes. Napo.
Napo.
Okay,
Honorable
yes.
Napo.
Yes.
He has never, on a platform, spoken about one policy of theirs before. He only attacks NDC policies, and you know, people know better than he even does know. Just look at the education sector. They brought free secondary education.
Yes.
My children also went to free secondary education. But I spent money, more than I would have paid fees. Because every week you have to send money for them to feed. The feeding was so bad. Children will come back from school and you see them, you can't even recognize them.
Looking sick?
Yeah, they're looking sick, pale. So you see, the policy itself is good, but the implementation.
The delivery.
That is why I was saying that
brand
Interparty.
Delivery.
Yes.
Brand, political brand delivery. Dr. Joyce Manu. I think you need to see her for advice because you go brand so high and you short deliver. I don't know what the problem is. But you know the trick. I think you need some specialists to be advising you guys.
Don't worry about that. You know that.
I am concerned about it because I'm a Ghanaian. I'm seriously concerned about it.
You know, NDC will deliver.
You under-deliver.
We deliver.
That word delivery is there, but
every government.
Not 100%.
Not all government.
Not 50%.
Any government in the world.
Will I be too hard on you if I say you didn't deliver 50%?
More than that.
Are you sure?
Yes.
I can see it.
But if you say somebody's a nation builder,
yes.
Look at how Ghana was progressing in infrastructure before 2016.
Yeah, of course. There were reports out there to say Ghana's economy was the indication of Africa. There was a description that was given of it. You know, that's a fact. But again, that's just international indicators. As we in the country, We don't want to ride on only these international interested parties just want to make things look good. We want to feel it in our pockets.
You feel
we
it.
Want to feel it on the roads.
You feel it when
my screen just got broken.
You feel it when your government is delivering. Just imagine. Let me give you one scenario. I went to Dubai.
Yeah.
Some years ago. I came back. When I was there, the dollar to cedi was around 4.9. There, it was 3.6.
Yeah.
So when you even carry cedis on you, you get something. When I came back, recently I went there. When I went there, it is still 3.6. It's only 3.66. Wow. But where is our cedi? From 4.9 that time to today, 16 point something. So you see, it is the government. Let me tell you something. All the portfolios government has created to support education, health, and other things has been used as collateral for loans that they get fund.
Yeah.
For loans. So just imagine. Infrastructure in schools.
I'll pause you there for a moment, and when we return, we'll dive right into Galamsey, the most serious issue that is affecting Ghana at the moment, which I call it the waters are at the state of emergency. But we'll come back to that. Sure. We'll have a brief summary on NDC and MPP, what is or what is not, and then we'll go right into it. I want to ask you this question. What is NDPP doing since the past 8 years that you wish they never did? And when NDC comes to power, you say we should use the word when, not if, because you have it in the bucket already.
Sure.
It's like a crab.
Sure.
You've dropped it.
Sure.
You think you have it. So tell us what they are doing drastically wrong that you would do differently, for which you think they should vote for you, or you are asking them to vote for you.
You know, in 2020 elections, I was the constituency chairman for Boko North.
Okay.
And we went on campaigns, everybody was campaigning. MPP was campaigning on their strength of investment. It was not even on infrastructure, because then they hadn't done that much. But I was telling my people, they will split the party or the government is borrowing, it will take us to a certain level in our governance structure. You see, before 2024, in 2022, 2023, and now, there has been debt restructuring.
Yes, there
we are even
drastically.
Yes, we are even lucky government didn't go into people's account to say that if you have 1,000 in your account, I will give you only 500. It is as a result of the policies they started with when they came to power. And you know, people were, every new government, you enjoy some goodwill. Yeah. They had goodwill because people thought whatever they were doing was heading to the right direction.
Yeah.
But you see, collapsing banks, instead of spending 9 billion to resuscitate those banks, you use 25 billion to collapse them.
For some of the view that the state of those banks, their methods of transaction and behavior was against the regulators.
Take over the bank.
Okay.
Keep the employees or the workers.
Okay. So you're not saying that they shouldn't restructure the banks, but to close them down?
Yes.
Yes.
There are best practices out there where government takes over the bank, invests in the bank, but workers are still kept. You see, the more you close them down, you increase the rate of unemployment.
Yeah.
And now we are feeling the pinch of it. So that is why I was saying that the government did so many things from the onset of their goodwill, and now they have a very bad will.
Do you also believe that it was a witch hunt rather than a regulatory requirement to restructure those banks or to amalgamate them into what they are now?
They were weak banks.
They were. So you agree they were weak banks?
They were weak banks.
Good. That's one honesty right there.
Those weak banks, Data Bank was part of them. Why didn't they close Data Bank?
Understandably, Data Bank is not a bank. It's an investment house.
They closed so many investment houses.
So everything I give you have a counter for me.
They closed so many of them.
So that seems to just suggest there were some witch hands. Yes. Is that what you're trying to say?
They were doing what they like.
Okay.
To the detriment of the people
of country and people.
Yes. Because if you close one bank, for instance, GM Bank, you ask GM Bank to get investment. You reduce their license from a commercial bank to savings and loans. At the end of the day, they brought the investment. You never responded to them till today. And now that bank that has branches across the country has laid off all workers. All the assets are now lying unprotected. People are stealing from there. This government has done harm, more harm than good. Let me give you another scenario.
Yes.
When this government came in, there was an estate building government was embarking on, affordable housing.
Yes.
One was at Sagleme.
Oh, yes.
Have you been there?
The famous Sagleme, yes.
If you go to Sagleme today.
Off the Accra Aplau Road.
Yes.
Yeah, I've seen it.
If you go to Sagleme.
I've talked about it before.
Today. Sagleme was fitted, painted, and was ready for habitation. Now, the doors, air conditions, electrical wiring, everything has been stolen. So if another government comes, or the same government want to fix it, wouldn't you spend more money to fix it? So this government was killed to probably do things against his own people.
Do you think NDC is going to complete that project?
Oh, definitely, it's an NDC project. We'll fix it.
But you see, this is what
I
don't like, both as a person and as a Ghanaian who wants to see the best of my country. When we label the projects NDC project, MPP project, for which we are not going to continue, I feel there should be some governmental instrument that actually lays embargo on any change of government to stop a viable project.
You remember Senchi?
Because some of the hospitals, regional hospitals we're talking about, which is believed to have been started by yourselves, NDC, got stopped because it's NDC labeled.
It is MPP's government that does that.
Understandably, you do it too.
No, listen. Remember Senchi, there was a symposium in Senchi on the economy. Remember?
Yep.
That Senchi Accord.
Yes.
There was a draft. And the draft says that all abandoned projects should be completed. So we went back to certain projects Kufuor had done, we completed them. Have you heard that there are abandoned projects from Kufuor's era before? You haven't.
Not something I'm privileged to.
So
or have
they've completed all those projects. MPP left. MPP, Nana, under President Nana Addo Kufuor came and left all the big projects NDC did. How on earth will you leave such a hospital like the UGMC hospital?
Because, see, over the years, there's been a lot of abandoned projects. Every government comes, starts, doesn't finish, and leave it. And that is contributing to the infrastructure deficit that we have across board, every sector.
Yes. It is
so you tell me what you've talked about, some of the things they are doing that is questionable. What are you going to do differently and will become the flagship monument that will remember you for if after a certain period you're not there as a government?
Not only for flagship.
Yeah.
We don't want to be propagating issues to say that this is what NDC did alone.
Yeah.
Our flag bearer and next coming president, the incoming president, he says that whatever abandoned project, every project, even from Hillel Liman time, will be completed. It is for Ghana.
That's a big talk.
Yes. It's part of our manifesto.
I hope it's not going to be a branding that cannot be delivered. Because as the scholars say, when you brand, think about delivery. Do you have the resources to do that?
Definitely.
Do you have the funding to do that?
Definitely. They have
because
funding.
If not, we may vote for you because we are happy all these projects are going to be the low-cost houses, all these things are going to be restored, broken schools will be restored. But when you come and you realize there's no money in the pocket, you see then, branding is here, delivery is at my heel.
But
we don't want that.
There is always no money. But there
so
is
how are you going to get this money to do these things?
Let me answer your question. You know, every government comes, they have a way to arrange money for projects.
Okay.
Okay, we say we are not going to arrange new monies for new projects alone, but we are going to arrange new monies or procure new monies to settle all those abandoned projects.
Is that just printing money or?
Yeah, not printing money.
Okay.
You can go for loans, you can go for grants. I mean, there are so many ways you can raise money to complete your projects.
Okay.
So, NDC government has done it before, we will do it again. But you see, when we say we do, President Mahama says he will fix all the abandoned projects or all projects left by the previous government. He will fix them. But let me tell you something.
Yes.
All these roads you see they've been trying to fix or they've been trying to do, they awarding contracts here and there. Do you know that at the end of the day, it is the new government that's going to pay for it?
Yeah.
You know that?
Yes.
There are so many contractors who have not been paid, even from 2016 till now. Some are so impoverished up to today that you cannot imagine. You see?
So where is the loan gone to?
That is the question or a puzzle we have to solve. Because this government has borrowed so much that, you see...
Of course, I shouldn't be asking you because you're not in government. You're not the one.
Who much is given, much is expected.
Yes.
And that is why people are saying they haven't done anything tangible. Well, just imagine, our debt portfolio was at 122 billion as of 2016.
Yes, that's correct.
And now our debt portfolio, I cannot give count because...
the last time I checked, it was 600 plus. So I don't know where it is
So
now.
if you take 122 from Nkrumah's time, from 600 plus, how much has this government borrowed? You see?
500 thereabout.
You see? So much is expected of them. But because they are not up to task and they did not come for the people, they came for themselves. And that is why we are feeling all this heat. You see, the more you borrow, when inflows comes into your system, it stabilizes your currency.
Let's go to Galamsey. Illegal mining, small-scale mining. Off screen, you did mention something that is the ultimate problem. It's not the mining that is the problem because you said you're a miner yourself,
yes, sure.
But you think you know the problem. Why are we having this issue?
Mining is not a problem that has been touted as people tout it today.
Yeah.
The way and manner the distraction is happening, that is why everybody is so agitated.
Yes.
But that shouldn't have been so.
Okay.
The problem is that the people of this government and the MPP members are grabbing and mining everywhere they find themselves.
You mentioned a scheme that has been introduced that is the problem.
I will come there. In 2016, after 2016, say 2017, this government came in, stopped all mining activities. During that time, there was some sanity in the system. Then, after 2018 or so, they scrutinized, trained people. I went for the training myself in Takwa. They trained people to go back and do the right thing. Unknowingly, they had a scheme. And that scheme is the problem we are facing today. They instituted so many measures. In fact, those measures, if they were implemented well, would have helped. The Galam stop, the Operation Vanguard, the Operation Hot came later. You see, some of us stopped after Operation Hot because there was no incentive to go work. You can't even work for a month or 2 months, you are stopped. Something will happen, you have to stop. Those things. There are some people who do the right thing, and many of them also do the wrong things. And those people who are doing the wrong things, I can beat my chest and say that they are all NPP sympathizers. I know them. If you are NDC... So
you mean they are empowered by NPP?
Yes, if you are NDC member, you can't do these things. They will arrest you, you go to jail. I know.
if those doing these things were NDC, you're saying that they would have been arrested.
You'll be arrested.
So these guys are left on the wild.
Yes.
To just seek and destroy.
Yes. If you go
because
report them,
they have MPP label. Is that what you're saying?
Some of them are MPP chairman. So they are MPP organizers. I know them. I won't lie.
But the police is non-partisan, so why is the police not acting?
So if somebody is arrested, and the MPP regional chairman picks a phone and says, leave him, what will you do?
Why should that be?
I have a video. I can share with you later. That somebody was arrested, went to the police station, then the then General Secretary of MPP called. That is his boy. They left him.
And he's gone back to digging.
Yes. So the police have totally lost control. If they go arrest them, people will come from government and take them out. That is why President Mahama is saying that those people who were arrested and jailed, they have nothing to do with those who have the big machines and the mining. So we are arresting the wrong corporates.
The level of destruction has reached emergency level now. The waters have reached Wager.
I know.
Where the water is processed for the whole Accra. I drove past there yesterday.
I know.
On my way to see one Queen Mother.
You know, let me educate you on how mining should be done, especially small-scale mining.
Yes.
Small-scale mining, you are not supposed to go near to a stream or a river body, I think 50 or 100 meters. Then when you are working, you still need that water. So what we do is that you dig a dam. And out of the dam, you take your material that you're going to wash. Take a very big dam. Then you pump water from the water source into that dam. Then you dig another dam that is called a slurry dam. Then that is where you wash into. Then you do a trench from the slurry dam to the bigger dam. So the bigger dam becomes your reservoir. When you lose or you get down, you still pump from the stream to the bigger dam. So you can even do two other dams, the slurry dam and another dam, before it goes into the bigger dam. So when you wash, the tailings come into the slurry dam. Then it filters to the other dam, then it sifts to the bigger dam. So the bigger dam becomes your reservoir.
Yeah.
It rotates. The slurry dam, because you are washing into it, within some few time, it will get filled. The silt will fill it. When the silt fills it, you move to another place, you dig another trench, and you move on. That is how mining should be done.
But if you do a move, how is the left, those places that have been mined and now obsolete, how are they treated?
No. You see, people are very irresponsible now. And I say they are grossly irresponsible. Simply because when any dam gets filled up, you need to top it up with overburden.
Okay.
So it means you are reclaiming the land. After that, you can even plant cassava, plantain on it to regenerate the land. Then you move. So the more you move, the further you move, all your back is being reclaimed and restored. But it is not done now because everybody is getting an excavator, he dig, he finds, he stays. If he doesn't find, he moves to another place, he leaves the pit there.
But what about these, understandably it's from China called chafan or something that is actually mounted in the water?
That is a different thing altogether. I'll talk about
where
that
they
as
are
well.
Really...
It's a different thing altogether. So I'm talking about small-scale mining.
Yes.
So if you go to a small-scale mining, if you go to my site today, you will see those dams there. But there was a program after 2018, it's a community mining.
Community mining. What does that mean?
It's a concept that people in the community always want to be part of the mining programs.
Yes.
So they brought that to probably solve the problem of unemployment at the mining communities.
Okay.
So that community mining is the bane now. The problem we are facing today, is the community mining.
That scheme.
That's key.
So is it to say that you can mine anywhere? Is that what it means?
And so you go to the community, you don't need any license, you are not responsible. Because if you have a license, you are responsible.
There was something on the news that there's a digging going on behind a police building and the police couldn't do anything about it or can't do anything about it.
What you do is you demarcate a place, I have this place, you go to the district assembly, you say, I want to use this place as a community mine. They give that place to you. And you see, it's a community, so not only one. So the place is plotted into small segments for the community people to mine. And in mining, if you don't recover, if you dig and you don't recover, it's difficult to dig again, simply because the cost of digging and the cost of operating mining is very expensive.
What do you think should be done in the now to just bring this thing to a halt?
Community mining should be stopped at once.
Okay.
People working on river bodies, use the shamfans and other things should be stopped.
That thing looks wicked to the water. It's like a vampire drinking blood.
And I'll tell you the other reason why people wash into water.
I don't think you should be the one asking, but I should be asking the SEPS officer, their boss. How does those chamfan come into the country? They're not manufactured, are they?
Yeah, they are from China.
So how did they arrive in the country? Because we know these things are causing destruction to our waters, yet they come into the country.
The purpose of champagne is not only for that mining.
Okay.
Champagne can be used to mill corn. Champagne is an engine.
Yes.
The name of the engine is champagne.
Yeah.
It can be used to crack stones. It can be used for so many other things. So that portable engine is a very powerful engine.
So we just divert it
so the people buy it for that purpose.
So it's not mainly for mining?
No, not at all.
So if we banned its importation, other businesses will be affected?
It has so many other businesses. For instance, if you are in a village, you know, in the old times we buy corn mills.
Yes.
If you are in the village and you want to establish a corn mill, you don't need to go buy that locomotive big engine. That simple champagne can power your mill. You understand? Yeah. So it's not for, you can pump water, you can use it to pump water. So many other activities that champagne can do.
You talked about that dam system of mining, but there was a video where they actually looped the tap from the waste, actually, they are mining far from the river, but they've channeled the waste into the river. I have it on my phone somewhere.
That is irresponsibility.
But you're saying it should have been just down from dam to dam,
you have
dam to dam,
yes.
But this one, big hose, and pumping everything back into the river.
You see, now the problem is that mine inspectors have lost control, Mineral Commission itself has lost control, Environmental Protection Agency has lost control. And the security agencies that are supposed to support them have also lost control. And so that is why people are advising government to ban mining for some time so that it can be well regulated. But that will also affect those who are doing it legally and professionally.
Yeah, there's only one grain spoil the whole rice. So if that's what it's going to take to fix the water, so why not?
You know,
because all of you who have been in it for a while, I'm sure you make some money. You can live on it whilst we are restoring the waters.
Oh, we've been through that before.
Yes.
2017,
because
2018.
you agreeing with you are saying the community mining scheme must be stopped.
It should be stopped at once.
Now, is it difficult to stop?
No, you know, the community mining scheme has so many bad side people are not recognizing. If you even have your own concession,
yeah,
people can come and say, we want to do community mining. They enter your concession and start community mining.
Seriously?
So if they have small support from the district assembly and the MPP people, you have no option than to still demarcate an area for them to do that. And if they do it so haphazardly.
The videos are everywhere, the pictures are everywhere. Bad. And to restore those waters, it's in billions, you know.
Yes.
A whole river. These are not ponds. These are rivers.
It's straight to the sea. So it's a crisis. Now I can say this is a crisis.
It's a state of emergency.
Yes, the government should probably, I will advise,
Yeah.
the best thing that can save the situation is to take soldiers to be patrolling the river bodies, to take off those champagne guys.
But it is alleged that sometimes when the soldiers go, they get compromised too because of stomach.
That is the problem. And
So,
it's a very big problem. The problem is way above what government can only do.
yeah.
The people government sends to probably put people in check also get compromised at a point in time.
So you think when you say we should say when NDC comes to power, they're going to stop the community mining?
Oh, that's
Is it one of your manifestos?
mining in forest should be stopped.
Yeah.
Mining in river bodies should be stopped.
Yes.
Community mining should be stopped at once. Government has issued a lot of mining licenses.
Is there any vetting system or regulatory body that visits the sites to see if you're following what you've proposed? Is there any proposal required from those seeking the licenses to prove some sort of expertise or ability to do according to the required process before they are issued?
It's at a certain level. That
Okay.
is the last scale. You have to show your expertise.
For large scale, that is required,
Yeah,
but
yes.
community mining, no.
Small scale community mining, no.
Just come and take certificate, go and destroy the forest.
Not that.
That's what it is.
It-
I'm sorry, but that's how it is. You are licensing the people to destroy.
No, in the small scale mining license, there are regulations.
Let's just be blunt. This scheme is licensing the people to destroy our land and waters. That's what it is.
No.
It is.
I won't say that.
No, you who are doing it responsibly, I'm sorry, but you're caught up in it. But the mass majority that is doing this indiscriminate mining, I can only define those licenses as they've been licensed to destroy our forest and waters. Because that's what we are saying. That's the end result of that gold or diamond that they found. Yes, you may not agree with me because you can take me to your site and say, look, this is what I'm saying.
That's right.
I'm not questioning you as a business person, but I'm saying the scheme, that's how it looks like.
But you know, there has been fight against Galamsey. It happened in 2015. It happened in 2016. It happened in 2017.
Why is it only the fight comes when it's election time? Because again, I feel like it's just politically motivated
for
stuff.
that one, I would say, this government tried fighting that canker.
Okay.
But they lost control at a point in time. And there's the famous saying that party hieska. So they needed money. That's
Okay.
why
Party Hiansika,
that was from Professor Frimpong Boati.
Yes.
It says party hieska.
Mungoye, NDD.
That's the
Sanity.
You see, I don't want to say so much, but
We want to hear so much.
every MPP top member that is involved in mining is doing very irresponsible things. And I know them, I can mention their names. From here
You're
to
the second person saying this.
From here to Dunkwao, from Dunkwao to Takwa, myself, I mine in Dunkwao. From Dunkwao to Takwa, everywhere, these party boys and party members are involved. They do very responsible things.
Give us a call again if you want us to come and have a conversation, because it seems there's a lot more we can say. We have to pull you off the job, and then here you are coming to talk to us. But before we go, elections tend to be violent sometimes, loss of properties, and by virtue of what the leaders are saying during campaigns and stuff like that. What can you say to Ghanaians? Yes, when it comes to the people, these labels come to, we should put it aside and look at the fact that we are all Ghanaians. We want a peaceful election. We want a peaceful transition. Yes, you went to court. Most civil thing to do, that we don't agree with the result, we go challenge it. The court says no, let go, you let go. What do you have to say as a senior member of NDC, a chairperson who works with the civil society organization, and the
other parties.
other parties,
Um,
what do you have to say? What should be the step we should be taking, or your advice to us all, not looking at your brand, NDC?
Oh, I can say that from recent experience, after I started going around under the Interparty and civil society relations, I can assure you that this election will be the most peaceful election in Ghana.
We will sing hallelujah.
The reason is that, you see, when you go to communities and you see people want change, the focus is on the change, not on the fight. And you see, one thing we should also bear in mind is that when there are signs on the wall that change is coming, people are not into violence. They don't want to engage in violence, but they rather want to see the change they are seeking for. This Galamsey issue we are talking about here, we went to a community in Atiwa East. I mean, it's a farming community. They do cocoa and other cash crops. Their main problem was Galamsey. Those who do garden eggs, okra and stuff, they say they are not able to use the water to water their plants.
Of course they can't.
And they are looking at NDC to come and change that trajectory.
Will NDC do it?
Sure. Because if you are mining, you have to mine responsibly. But there can be mining here, and the water body is the same water we use to bath, we use to drink and everything. But you know that today, farmers are not able to drink from their own streams and rivers, but they take water from home, sachet water, bottled water, or boreholes before they can survive in their farms. So pertaining to election violence, what happened in 2020 was very unfortunate. But I would say that it was a complicit action from the ruling government.
Okay.
Because it was not necessary for a policeman or a soldier to open fire into a crowd of people. That is what happened. So if that doesn't happen...
But the same government is still in place, so...
And they haven't even acknowledged the fact. You see,
if they've not acknowledged the fact, how sure are you that that's not going to happen again?
The reason why it's not going to happen is that you don't know who is winning.
Okay.
You see, that thing happened, they had the results already. And they knew that Kwadwo was winning somehow. So they could play their tricks. They wanted a parliamentary seat as well. You see? You see, in the history of Ghana, in the Fourth Republic, from 1992, when we power changed hands to Kufuor to Atamas. You know Atamas was Asumbiehine. Kufuor to Atamas. Atamas to President Mahama. President Mahama to President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. That is where it is only 2020 that we saw this spate of violence. That there's been an election and 8 people died out of
reckless handling of a situation.
Reckless. Because having even witnessed that in Ghana before, that people are here demonstrating or shouting, we just open fire on them. Armless people. So these are some of the things that happen. If it won't happen again.
So what would be your advice as a senior member of the NDC to the public, general public? Because this video is going to go wide and far.
I'm telling Ghanaians, it is time for change. And definitely, the nation builder...
No, I want you to speak to them.
I'm coming there.
No. You've got so much time and you've said so much to them. So I want you now tell Ghanaians, as a Ghanaian who want peace for your business to continue and thrive, how you want them to conduct themselves. In this change, yes, we know there's going to be a change. Either we are going to have a new driver who used to be a mate or a former...
nation builder.
Former nation builder, you call him, who will now continue building the nation.
Yes.
One way or the other, there's going to be a change. We all know this.
Yes.
But in the process for the change to come to fruition, whatever the brand may be, tell Ghanaians how to conduct themselves, because you are an official. You are a senior member of your community. They will listen to you.
Oh, definitely.
So speak to them.
You know, peaceful elections.
The camera behind me here is looking right at you. Look into you and tell them.
Peaceful elections is out of, as a result of people's behavior.
Yeah.
There can be actions, but if there is no reaction, nothing happens. So I'm advising Ghanaians that you go to the polls, you cast your vote, you just excuse yourself from the polling station. When it is time for counting, you all converge back there to make sure the counting goes well. Yeah. Because elections are won at the polling station. Yeah. So if you go there and you leave, somebody comes and leave at around 3:30 to 4, where you see voting is coming to an end, you can converge back. Okay. If somebody tells you something you don't like, don't react. What you are looking for is the change.
As for we country members, we are the people, we will do what you have just said. To your fellow officials who are campaigning and saying strange things, questionable things that is actually fueling us to react, speak to them too.
You know, there's always an action before you see a reaction.
Yes.
Recently,
we want them to tone down. The rhetoric should tone down.
Yes.
Speak facts, stop name calling, and that will not infiltrate Ghanaians to react. So speak to them. You are an official. Recently, now I'm putting you to the spot. Speak to them. And then we will go home.
we had issues of tension.
Yes.
About if you win, we won't give it to you. And somebody says, if you won't give it to us, this will happen to you. Those are campaign talks. Because those guys who are saying that, if you meet them one-on-one, I don't think they will have the courage to say that again.
But that is fueling the behavior of the people.
What I'm telling them,
if you don't mean what you're saying, don't say it, because the people following you are going to act on them.
So what I'm telling them now.
So tell them now.
Is that they should
refrain from that.
Refrain from that inflaming passions.
Talk to your fellow leaders.
Yes, inflaming passions on political platforms. Because our leaders, President Mahama, former President Mahama, Vice President Bawumia, and all those political leaders, they will say this. Okay. So we who are following them should follow their steps.
Thank you very much. We will bring it to a close on this one, but we are more than happy to come to Kufrodia again because I want to eat my fufu, my ampesier, everything green here. I would love to eat it. But the road, I want it fixed. You said when. So when you come to power, fix the roads, let the buildings rise up. Yes. And let's fill it in our pockets. Let's fill it infrastructurally. That's what you are promising us. But thank you for your time. Much appreciated. This is about country and people, and you've added your voice. God bless you so much.
Thank you very much.
And to our viewers, this is The Hot Seat. I'm your host, AIM. Ghana must work. Ghana can work. We want Ghana to work. Till we come your way, long live the Fourth Republic. Bye for now.